Alright, it's now April 3rd and I've managed to calm down a bit. Something I'd quickly like to add to my thoughts on Chapter 4's Dark World is that evidence has come up that it may actually take place in the church, which has been speculated on for a while now. The church was also what I felt was most likely, but over time the newsletters led me to speculate that the Dark World may be within the Holiday Mansion. I feel like it's still likely it could be either of the two, but just thought I'd update everyone in the future about the current thoughts of the community after the utter insanity that was April 2nd. Anyways, I'm now leaving Deltarune.com open on my phone, so whenever I turn it on, I'm able to see exactly how much time is left until Chapter 3 and 4's release. Wow, what a day. Alright, it is now April 5th, and we are about 60 days away from the release of Chapters 3 and 4. So up until this point, I've been first typing out all my thoughts and reading them, so it was like semi-scripted. But I've decided that I think for the rest of this video, I'm just gonna start kind of spitballing while I just stare at this countdown. Because what else is there to do? So anyways, update to my last entry. I am now much more confident that Chapter 4's Dark World is going to be in the church because there was a Nintendo article that actually showed off some new, kinda new screenshots. Most of them were like the same ones from the Steam page, but they had borders. And there actually was one new one, completely new one, that has everyone especially freaking out that seems to show off the design for Tenna, possibly? I think it's also possible, though, that it could just be like an underling who works for Tenna. But we will see. Tenna may be Snail Spamton. So that's something. But back to Chapter 4's Dark World. So these towers are like from the border, and we don't even know 100% for sure if that border is like for Chapter 4, but I'm like 99% sure because we also saw in the trailer for Chapter 4 like some stained glass in the background, and I feel like these towers like match the aesthetic. So that's very intriguing, very intriguing. We've barely gotten like any info on Chapter 4's Dark World up until this point, so I just think it's really cool that Toby Fox is basically hyping it up now at the last minute. So I'm very excited to see what that's all about. I was thinking though, there is still a small chance it could be the Holiday Mansion, because I was thinking if the Holiday family is like extremely religious, maybe a Dark World based on their home would materialize like as this more religious themed world. But I think it is most likely going to be the church. Either way, I think it'll be very exciting to see. Now, as for what I've been up to these past few days, I've been continuing to play Undertale a bunch, so that's been fun. It's interesting. I feel like for a long time now within the world of Undertale, I kind of have like run out of things to do, or at least things to strive for. I have no real goal, but I've learned to just stay determined regardless, I guess. I honestly think that's like the biggest effect Undertale has had on me, is that it taught me how to use my own determination to the fullest extent. And there's just something kind of fascinating to think about having determination but no goal to go to. I just continue for the sake of continuing. But that's all starting to change now, because now I actually do have a goal that I'm actively heading towards. Deltarune. I was also thinking while playing Undertale, and because of all this craziness with Deltarune that's happening right now, it got me thinking a lot about the concept of freedom in Undertale, specifically, because that's just such a big theme in Deltarune. And something I've thought about a little bit, but I've never thought too deeply about, is how freedom connects with death as a concept in Undertale. And I'm actually thinking that I want to start making a video essay, and that could be the last major video I make for Undertale before chapters 3 and 4 come out. I plan to continue making plenty of content about both Undertale and Deltarune, but it still feels like once chapters 3 and 4 release, they'll be the end of an era for this series. This was, I think, the longest wait we've gone through in between chapters. And so it was just such a long period of just speculation and analysis of the 2/7 of a game we've had up until this point. But it's just really interesting how Deltarune can affect how I look at Undertale overall. Because freedom was always an aspect of Undertale's story, but it didn't come close in my head to being one of the main themes or one of the most important aspects. Whereas now, lately, the more I've thought about it, the more I'm there's some really interesting things to talk about. Some very, very interesting things. So, pretty much my plan now is just continue playing Undertale a bunch, work on that video essay, maybe work on some other secret projects that I'll get around to finishing later. And yeah, just do that until the clock strikes 0. Back before Chapter 1 of Deltarune even released, I spent a lot of time with Undertale and thinking about its world and characters and stuff. And so, when Chapter 1 released, it just felt so great to I already just enjoyed Undertale for what it was, but suddenly something new coming up that I could apply all the knowledge I'd gathered to just felt really good. But at the same time, we got so little information to really go off of that, as I said earlier, probably a couple months ago at this point, it was just unsatisfying to an extent. So now I'm getting that same feeling now that it's once chapters 3 and 4 release and we're able to continue onwards with this story, it adds another layer of meaning to the amount of time I spent with Undertale. It'll be nice to experience something new again. There really is so much in Deltarune in regards to it as a game that I'm just really excited for. All the secret bosses, different dark worlds, seeing what might happen within the light world even. And I'm excited to experience all of it, even the normal route, but the weird route just feels like a spiritual continuation to what I experienced in Undertale. The normal route so far in chapters 1 and 2 felt like a brand new fun story that was great to experience. But when I started the weird route, that was the first time it actually felt like I was continuing where I left off. I feel like that's the main reason I'm so attracted towards it. I don't have any real specific goal or meaning to strive for. I just simply want to continue. Because I am driven by determination. We'll finish what we started, and we'll free everyone. "50 days! Feels like we reached the first major milestone." So I was thinking last time I was saying that I was planning on doing another video essay, but over time I think I just decided I just don't have it in me actually do a video essay right now, because it's like I start to get motivated to do something, but then all my brain can think about is Deltarune. I think I talked about this a bit before, but I think I'll just, for the rest of my time away, and just say anything I feel like talking about with Undertale or Deltarune here. Kind of the whole point of this whole video originally, basically, so yeah. So I think I want to go ahead and talk about the whole freedom and death thing a bit. I probably will make like a full video essay about the topic at some point, just because I do think it is like really interesting, like deserves like a full analysis. But before I go over like some of my thoughts on that I have right now, just another thing that I remembered while playing Undertale is obviously throughout Undertale and Deltarune, leitmotifs are a big theme, which, if you don't know, is when basically a music theme or like a music melody is reused in a song, stuff like that, to like convey a character or theme or something like that. For example, there's what we call, at least for now in Deltarune, the freedom motif, which plays in The World Revolving and Big Shot. Now, it's possible, though, as more chapters come out, that that part of The World Revolving just won't be used in Secret Boss themes, and so maybe then we won't really think of that as the freedom motif anymore. I don't know. But a really interesting motif in Undertale is actually the ruins one. And basically what I've like come to understand so far is I think the ruins theme basically represents monster kind to an extent. because the ruins are literally the former capital of monster kind, and so making the theme for that represent the monsters in some way makes sense. But then that theme comes up again later in Waterfall, and I think what's so interesting about that, I could honestly like make like a whole video like talking about Waterfall 2, though I think I'm probably actually eventually going to do like my own like just full analysis of Undertale. That'll probably just be its own like big video thing, and so I'll probably take the time to talk about it there. But just Waterfall is so interesting because I've come to realize like Waterfall like represents the hopes and dreams of like monster kind in like such a genius way, because first of all, the whole concept of echo flowers, when you really think about it, it's just such a clever way to like let you know about like what's going on like in the lives of individual monsters and stuff, and also the fact that in Waterfall they literally have sparkling stones that they use as wishing stars, and like that's also really great concept. And by combining the concept of echo flowers and those stones on the ceiling, it's just such a genius way to just tell the player, hey, here's what all the monsters wish for. And furthermore, when you befriend Undyne, there's a room in Waterfall where when you call her, she explains that hearing the monster's wishes from the echo flowers like helps motivate her to fight for monster kind. And like it's just one of those things that just reminds me like how like genius Undertale really can be, even though like it's such a silly, goofy game in a lot of ways. Like what made me fall in love with Undertale is just there's so many smart things like that. And like just having this whole area that represents the hopes and dreams of monster kind, and having the main antagonist you face in that area be this monster who so strongly wants to fulfill those wishes is just so good. But the reason why I bring up all this stuff with Waterfall is, of course, the Ruins theme is also reused in Waterfall's theme, and it's like that makes sense because, you know, Waterfall basically represents all the hopes and dreams of the monsters, and so the main theme for the monsters plays when you're in that area. And even furthermore, in Spear of Justice, the Ruins theme also plays, just showing how much Undyne cares about monster kind and that she's fighting for monster kind. So basically, Undyne is an amazing character. So yeah. Ooh, that was a lot. Rambling is fun. But at some point, I need to look more into leitmotifs because I feel like there's like more like interesting uses of leitmotif that haven't been discussed as much in Undertale. Like I think like the Snowden theme plays in Hopes and Dreams, for example. So I wonder about things like that a bit. And also I know that there's like, I think the home theme like plays a few times in like different areas that like are you could like consider like a safe space during your adventure, so that's kind of neat. So yeah, I'll probably need to try looking into that a bit more at some point. But anyways, onto the original theme I want to talk about, freedom and death. So I originally like really started to notice this because obviously Deltarune like focuses a lot more on the concept of freedom, and so that just got me thinking about how like that concept could apply more in Undertale. And like the first thing that obviously comes to mind is literally, like, the whole original premise of the game, a bunch of monsters have been trapped underground, and now that you've entered the underground, you're also trapped there. Like, the whole goal is for you to gain your freedom, or to free monster kind from the barrier. And also, monsters, of course, want to free themselves too. That's the whole reason they're trying to kill you. But what's even more interesting that I, like, started to notice is Gerson. So the first thing that I should bring up with Gerson is like the person who, like, originally brings up the Deltarune, the symbol. And so it feels even more noteworthy that, like, he says this. But he says that over time with the prophecy, people have, like, taken a darker view that the angel could be an angel of death that will free them from the mortal realm. And describing literally killing everyone as freeing them just, like, feels like a very interesting, intentional, like, choice of words. And later in Waterfall, you do read about the prophecy and how it says that, specifically, that the one who has seen the surface will come down and free everyone. And so, with that idea of, like, freedom can represent death in mind, that obviously could mean that they're going to free the monsters from the underground, or it could mean that they're just going to free everyone from their suffering. So that's neato. But that, for a while, that was, like, the main thing that I noticed, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of neat. But, like, over time, like, I just noticed there are, like, more and more examples throughout Undertale of, like, freedom and death being used in that way. Like, another one I can think of is in New Home. The monsters literally explain, like, why they've decided to start killing every human who comes here, and so they're essentially explaining why they're going to kill you. And at the very end of that explanation, the last frogget tells you you're going to be free. And so that's just another example of freedom being connected with death. And if you, like, think even more about it, like, Kara came up with a plan to free monster kind, and to achieve that freedom, they literally took their own life so Asriel could absorb their soul. So that's another connection you can make between freedom and death. Then in the genocide route in New Home, when you're talking to Flowey, he also says that you're going to free everyone. So yeah, there's just, like, it's just started to hit me just how many times that connection is actually made. There might be, like, more that I'm not remembering off the top of my head, which is, you know, what making a full video is for. I can take the time to actually go through the whole game and find every example of it, but yeah. There's also, though, a connection that can be made between freedom and power, because there was that one letter, of course, that Asriel wrote about Kara, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I actually made a mini video essay kind of thing about Kara and their obsession with the number 9, which I recommend watching if you don't know anything about that, because it's really interesting. But essentially it shows that Kara kind of has an obsession with power, because it means when you have enough power, you know, no one can hurt you. And so in that sense, I think you could, like, see Kara believing that, like, having power leads to a sort of freedom, because you don't need to be afraid of anything or anyone anymore, which does make sense. And the entire genocide route, which, you know, now in this lens can be looked at as, like, being about freeing everyone, you're slowly amassing more and more power. and at the very end you come face to face with Kara, who's like very much intertwined with all these themes of freedom, power, and death. And it's also crazy because it like also recontextualizes like all the roots really as being about freedom, because in True Pacifist you free all of monster kind, then in Neutral you free yourself, and then in Genocide you free all of monster kind. And it's just so crazy to me how it's like that theme has like always been there. It's like so clearly written in, but I like never really paid that much attention to it until Deltarune started drawing more attention to it. And going back to Snowgrave, the themes of freedom, power, and death are like especially present in that route. And it's all just so interesting. And honestly, yeah, I think I'm not going to worry about like doing a video essay on this topic until like after I've played through chapters 3 and 4. Because like now that I am like thinking about how these concepts could also like connect to like the weird root specifically, like I think I would like to see more Deltarune, and there could be more there that I could add on to that discussion depending on where all that goes. So yeah, I've been enjoying playing Undertale again. These are just some of the thoughts that have popped back up into my mind while playing. And honestly, it mostly just makes me even more excited to finally get to play Deltarune. I just really enjoy thinking about all this stuff, but it'll just be even better when I actually have both like new things to think about, but also what I just find so enjoyable is like being able to connect these themes in Undertale and Deltarune together, and like seeing how the two stories parallel, differ, and all that. It's just so interesting. Like Deltarune as a concept is just so very interesting. Alright, I think that's about all I have to say for today, so see you sometime later. I don't know when exactly I'll record the next one. Oh well. Humanity feared monster kind. If a single one absorbed a human soul, that could spell the end of the world. So they declared war. Monster kind was sealed away and balance was maintained between the two races. The humans must have believed they had saved the world, but they only prolonged the inevitable. Be it from the hands of humans, monsters, or something much worse, all things come to an end. The ability to reset is not a means to eternity. It only drags out suffering. Azrael was naive. He dreamed of a world that is unending. I'm sure he came to regret that dream. Perhaps that's the true connection between freedom and death. Death is an ending. Death is closure. If only the fallen children embraced their ending and rested. If only. It's been like a day and I'm already getting all philosophical and stuff. Thinking is fun. 40 days left. Just 40 days left. Not only that, we're about 5 days away from the end of April. And that's also pretty big because May will essentially be the last month, like the last full month that I need to get through before Deltarune. outside of that great news, honestly don't really have much to talk about this time. To be honest, I haven't been playing Undertale quite as much lately, but I figure as we get closer to Deltarune, I'll end up playing more of it again. But, so there will just be a bit more for this entry. I have actually made my own design for myself that's like Deltarune inspired. It's basically a Deltarune OC. Incredible. So, as you can see, face is very Kara inspired. You can see hearts and stars referencing the soul and the save point. The armor is inspired by Chris. And I gave myself a full cape and hood. There's also a white tulip here, which is a reference to Amori. But one thing that I didn't realize until I literally finished making this design is that it ended up looking pretty similar to Red. I don't really mind that much though, because Undertale Red is one of my favorite Undertale fan games. And also the creator of that fan game, Taxiderby, is actually currently working on Deltarune, so that's kind of neat. I figure I could like use this in like video essays and stuff like that mostly. But we shall see, we shall see. So that's like a sneak peek at that, I guess. And yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. "40 days left." Okay, so I was just thinking about Undertale and a random thought occurred to me that I just wanted to share. So essentially, I just realized the final battle in the True Pacifist route and in the Genocide route are like exact opposites. So at the end of the True Pacifist route, Azrael essentially becomes a god, and if you look at his stats, he literally has infinite attack and infinite defense. And if you try to attack him, it just always misses, because he's just simply too strong to take damage. And so, basically how the whole fight works is you're going up against an unstoppable force, and you don't, like, beat him by, like, overpowering him. You literally have to convince him to give up. And it just suddenly hit me that at the end of the Genocide route, Sans is going up against you, an unstoppable force, and literally the only chance he has at victory in that fight is making you give up. And he even tells you that you should quit throughout the fight. So yeah, there's just another random little theme that popped into my head. It's neat. But on a much more important and relevant note, so I just kind of randomly decided to start rewatching Bakugan for the first time in like a very, very long time. Like I barely remembered most of the show. I only like very vaguely remembered a few different things from different episodes. But I came across this random video essay about Masquerade, and that just suddenly made me go like, huh, I should check that show out again. And as I expected at first, like, a lot of it is just very meh, because it's a pretty old show, and it is mostly aimed at children, so, yeah. And overall is pretty mess from seasons 1 to 3. Season 3 picked things up a little bit, but it was still kinda But it's not super bad to get to, because each season is only 13 episodes, and they're only each about 20 minutes long. So it definitely could be worse. But from the season 3 finale onwards, it's just surprisingly good. Like, it surprisingly holds up really well, and like for some reason Masquerade's actually one of the greatest characters in fiction, I think. So I'll probably do a video about him at some point eventually. This was a very strange occurrence during this period of waiting for Deltarune that I didn't expect to happen. And like, unironically, I could like make multiple connections to Masquerade's character in Deltarune. That's probably why I like him so much, actually. Huh. So yeah, today was an interesting day. Huh. Okay, one more thing that I just noticed. Toby Fox says that we're getting another newsletter towards the end of next week, so I guess you'll see my reaction to that right after this, probably. Alright, as you can see, a decent amount of time has passed. We pretty much just hit the 26-day mark. And we finally got the next newsletter. Deltarune Newsletter, May 2025. Release date and time. Don't we already know that? Deltarune chapters 1 through 4 will release... Wait, let me explain. For starters, the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Deltarune will launch on June 5th at midnight local... Oh, okay, I'm like seeing ahead a bit. I need to focus, so immediately I'm seeing we're actually getting it just a tad bit early. I'm like going to have to figure out all the time zone stuff. Anyways. So yeah. The Nintendo Switch 2 version of Deltarune will launch on June 5th at midnight local time in each respective region. Technically speaking, this means people in Japan will get the Switch 2 version 13 hours sooner than people in the East Coast of the United States. The anime buff. Of course, Toby Fox would give them the anime buff, assuming they can get a Switch 2 at launch. However, what does that mean for all the other platforms? We decided to pick a time as the official launch time for everything else. Steam, Switch, PS4, and PS5, and that time is June 5th, 0 a.m. Japan time. What that means is if you're in North America, for example, the game will release on Steam, Switch, PS4, and PS5 at these times. Oh. So we're getting Deltarune at like early in the morning on June 4th. Okay, that changes things a bit. Okay, cool. It's not like the biggest like mind-blowing thing that'll make me freak out because it's basically a day early, but I was like prepared to start my playthrough at midnight, and my plan was mainly just play through chapter 1, then go to sleep, and next day do 2 through 4. But if we're getting it at the beginning of the day, I might end up just playing through chapters 1 through 4 for the first time, I would say. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Nice. If you're in New Zealand or Australia and are getting the Switch 2 version of Deltarune, you'll be able to get the game a couple hours earlier if you happen to get your Switch 2 exactly at midnight. But for convenience's sake, we're just going to ignore you guys and pretend that the game is not out. Meanwhile, don't say anything about it, please. Anyway, the takeaway is that if you're reading this in English, there's a good chance you'll actually be able to get the game on June 4th. But wait, there's more good news. Buy it once on PlayStation or Nintendo? Hey, do you want a good deal? Thanks to cross-buy, when you buy Deltarune on the PlayStation Store, you get both PS4 and PS5 versions for one price. Oh, that's nice. And we're gonna do basically the same thing on Nintendo platforms. If you buy the game on a Nintendo Switch and decide you want the Switch 2 version later, you can get it at no additional cost. And vice versa. Except in Japan, where local laws require us to charge a small fee. That's right, for one single price, you'll be able to get both versions of the game. That means both versions of the special room. Meow, my FOMO's clearing right up. Meow? Mad Mew Mew reference? Dog Shrine reference? To get the second version at no additional cost, you need to get both of them using the same Nintendo account. It's a small Spamton. A small Spamton. Oh, this is the greatest lore. Trophies. But hey, never mind all the pricing talk. Isn't it finally time to share some of those PlayStation trophies? Alright, let's see what we got here. Pain 4-A. Receive pain 22 times or meet an end. Oh, wait. These are like surprisingly serious. This is Gaster talk right here. Consumer 3A. Consume item. Armor 4A. Equip an armor. Strengthen 2A. Augment your power. Throne. Investigate the throne. Chapter 3 end. Complete without issue. This is just a small sampling of the trophies available. We got Gaster trophies! This is the greatest news of all time. Gaster is contracting PlayStation players to commit mischief. This will be very important for the lore. As you might guess, the trophy list outlines an interesting challenge. Trophies are permanent, so every one you gain is an eternal measure of your success. That's very, like, science is progress type talk. That's interesting. The way things are set up, you'll only receive a trophy once the current room where you unlocked it ends. Interesting. So for inspecting the throne, you have to inspect the throne and then leave the room to get the trophy? It's kind of funky. You'll misgain it if you turn off the game before then, so be careful while completing all 4 chapters. Especially, there may be certain conditions where you will miss acquiring the chapter end trophies. I don't think it's something an average player would run across, however. But really, I think you'll enjoy the game more if you don't pay attention to whether you get the trophies. What do you mean, Spamton Sweepstakes? Hey, unrelated to that, do you remember how I mentioned there was an... Who's ready for a reaction video? Hey, unrelated to all that, do you remember how I mentioned there was an alternate ending to the Spamton Sweepstakes? Well, I also finally remembered I said that. Oh wow, he didn't forget. So we've updated the Spamton Sweepstakes website to feature the alternate ending. After you give that a gander, it might be a good idea to check out the rest of the website for old time's sake too. I'll do that on when there's 9 days left. Way ahead of you, Mr. Fox. I only consider anything in the game itself to be canon, so there is nothing critically important on there. Sure. But looking around the site itself sure is a lot of fun. Okay. See the alternate path. I'm trying to remember, it's been so long. I guess I could check the video. I'm trying to remember what I voted for. I think I actually voted to kill the salesman. I'm pretty sure I did, but let me double check real quick. Be right back. Okay, just checked and I just remembered I actually didn't vote at all. I only donated to get to the point, help get to the point where we could vote. So basically, I am irrelevant. Anyways, though, let's finally see. Oh, I'm actually, like, so curious about this because I've heard people, like, theorize that by saving OG Spamton, that's why Spamton had to die, so I'm like, actually, yeah, now I'm, like, getting excited. What is going to happen this path? Oh man. It's also a hamey that, like, since this was a possible ending, it's probably going to be about as long as this one was, so I'm gonna have to strap in for this. You know what, let me get my blanket, might as well get comfortable. One less business venture with my good old pal Spammy. Oh, wow. Okay. What's... I just... Of course it's... So, oh, this is probably literally what the site would have looked like if Silence did win, and it mirrors how, in Deltarune Chapter 2, when Spamton enters the thingamajig, his shop goes all gray and empty. And yes, Spamton's just God. We killed Spamton. Silencing Spamton. That's a crazy title. Alright. Okay. It's literally just the end of the broadcast that's different. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. So they did do the entire two versions of the entire thing. It's just the very end that's different. Okay. So I don't have to strap myself in.
Hey,
that much at least.
Yenny, welcome back to the Spampton Value Network.
Feels
the
like I
only
never
home of
left.
Wild prizes and Spampton's
I've gone back
beautiful
years
eyes.
in time.
Here tonight, we've got even more wild prizes in store for you. Can you believe it? We might be on number 50. I can't count. Spampton Carbine Knife. The Spampton Carbine Knife is a wonderful knife that will allow you to...
Hey guys, is this on? Sorry, it took so long for the stream. We had some technical difficulties.
What stream?
Yeah, we had this
is
crazy video plans. We were going to hire someone to play Spanton, but you know, it's kind of, I don't know, it just kind of fell through, you know? It didn't really make sense because,
you hired me.
What?
Who is this?
I guess we didn't expect you guys to, like, vote for what you did. We just kind of assumed you'd do the
vote for what?
Freedom thing.
What did they vote for? Freedom?
Anyway, sorry guys. We're just gonna have to go think of something else.
What about all this?
We'll try and make up to you somehow. Yeah, I don't really know what we're gonna do without Spamton.
Yeah,
but you know,
I mean, how could we possibly live in a world without
you
him?
You voted to remove Spamton, and that's what happens.
Remove Spamton.
Goes away.
What are they talking about?
Well, we'll see you guys next year. Bye.
Wait, what do you mean remove Spamton? Wait! Remove Spamton?
Okay, so they were wrong.
Spamton
A Spamton is just doomed to die. Just like the original, actually.
No, wait. I'm not Spamton. I can't.
Bye.
I'm just an impersonator. I'm an actor. I was just hired to... You can't do this to me. Stop! Stop!
Rip Bozo.
No!
F's in the chat. Alexa, play dial tone. Mew antenna. Okay, that was neat. But I have to do a bit of investigation. Ooh, new song! I'm just vibing now. And of course I have to check if hitting the play button multiple times leads to different versions of the track, as you do with Undertale and Deltarune. Okay, looks like this time it is just one track. Very well. Oh wow, so I guess if we went with silence, we would have actually just like lost a lot of links, at least until we got this newsletter, which probably would have had the freedom ending, then we would have had the regular webpage back, I'm guessing. But there might be some new stuff to click here. Okay, this all seems like stuff we've seen before. Interesting. What's next? Ah, okay. Do, 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 do. Wait. Wait, is this new? If only you had, your luck might have gone another way. No, no crystal. I can't highlight it. Oh wait, I can click the empty spot? I don't recognize this noise. Oh, no one will shed a tear for him. Him could refer to Gaster. If only you had the... Your luck might have gone another way. No, this could be Spamton because this would be connected to the silence ending. If only you had the blink, your luck might have gone another way. No blink, no crystal. Yeah, I have no idea what the empty spots could be. Okay, this was a good find. Right, I'll head back to the green room. Okay, so I thought it was the mouse at first. It's like the entire front area is now clickable. Now I need to like check if there's anything else in here. The weather always sticks together. That's same. That's the same. There's TV, still not clickable. Do we know where these doors are in Hometown? Not sure. Interesting. Very, very interesting. More posts? We'll be posting more on social media as a build up towards the game. If you abandon if you abandon social media, I respect you, but I'm still going to do it. Here are the social media accounts, ... At Undertale on Twitter. At Toby Fox on Twitter. At Undertale.com on Blue Sky. At TobyFox.undertale.com on Blue Sky. See you in June. And that's that. Alright, I have to admit, it's honestly crazy just how much just a single day can affect my mental state. But something I'm just now noticing, I think the countdown is actually different. It might have been adjusted for when the new chapters will, like, release on systems outside of the Switch, too. Me think 9. Because, yeah, it looks like it'll count a day down at 11 a.m. for me. So maybe that's around when it'll release on June 4th, I don't know. Anyways, apparently there is a decent amount of new stuff to be found within the Spamton sweepstakes. And so I kind of just decided, you know what, screw my original plans. We're going through the Spamton sweepstakes right now. Really does feel like I never left. About Spamton. It's me, the #1 greatest salesman, Spamton G. Spamton. You may know me from everything, and now I'm only getting bigger, and bigger, and bigger. I've never gotten smaller. I've never gotten smaller. About charity. Help out the little guys. What do you mean I'm not getting any of the money? Then there is all this. Alright. Click here to claim your prize. Secret Pippus. You lost. Think you can just refresh it. Alright, we're starting back here. Recent sightings. This sighting comes again courtesy of Noel Holiday. So, let's look at the icy one. Recent sightings. This sighting comes again courtesy of Noel Holiday. The other night, I went down to eat leftover pizza, but when I went down, it was dark, and I couldn't find the switch, and I saw Icy on the box, and he winked at me. I screamed. Only my sister believes me. An update to the sighting. Story update, my sister burned the box in the grass to kill it, and it smelled like charcoal pizza. She burned out Icy eyes, and he looked evil, and as he said, took it and said we should bury the box, and Chris duged a hole in the ground, dug a hole in the ground in the graveyard, and I was so scared a zombie would come up, and I tried to say, Chris, I'm scared, and they turned around with the box over their face, and I screamed, so Des hit them and took it away, and I think it's going to come kill me.
For those that enjoy these sightings, be sure to take a look at the ones from her sister.
For those who enjoyed these sightings, be sure to take a look at the ones from her sister. Alright, all the same so far. Just something I can go ahead and try playing here that this makes me think of. Okay, nope. So yeah, ISC is definitely interesting. We got slightly introduced for the first time to Icy and Undertale with Sans' word search. And now he's just everywhere in Deltarune, and it's kind of terrifying, honestly. But what if it could get darker than dark? Right now I just keep clicking until I get jump scared. Here we go. Yep, that's horrifying. Alright, and that should be all the ads up here. Unless there's something new. Honestly doubt it. Good times. So I'm actually going to save the prizes for last, because originally with the Spamton sweepstakes we had to unlock all of these through the charity event, so these were actually the last things we basically went through. Giant golden birdly statue. This is it, fellow adults. Him, the ultimate wild prize, the golden bird, with heaven's symbol inscribed into its ass, spanning a tall and made of real yellow-bellied metal. This is a faithful, large-scale recreation of the best thing I ever found in a trash. I can't put a price on such a priceless object of sentimental value. Therefore, I will let you guys decide the price by spending as much money as possible. That's right, look, it's an online auction, baby. Get out your cyber skin wallets and give me the digits on the back right now. I can see you hesitating, making a guilty face. Well, don't worry, turn that frown 360 degrees and walk. Closer, closer. All the money will go to the little guys, like me. That's right, it's charity. So Harlan, shake your wallet And hashtag Spamton Challenge for the kids. Spamton's always thinking of the kids. Classic Spamton. The Mona Spamton. The ultimate must-have merchandise for any Spamton lover's pizza is here. This is history's first fully authentic painting, created without using digital assistants, but by actually using oil on canvas. Each detail has been lovingly smothered in crude oil by the classics you've come to expect, who also created the Golden Bird Heaven statue. This priceless artisan work is more than just worthy of being in a museum, it's also worthy of being sold shamelessly to the highest bidder. Get out those pocketbooks now, and I know you have spacious pockets, so you'd better make those numbers big. This site is part of a Game Glitches and Secrets web ring. Okay, actually want to check out the what's next down here. Okay, not applicable, chapter 3. Interesting. So I did see that if you go to chapter 3 here, it says not applicable. And if you go to chapter 4, it like has numbers. Oh wait, no, it's chapter 5. So chapter 4 has nothing, seemingly. Wait. Chapter 4 message. Hold on. Oh, there's so much to click here. Okay, we're getting into the brand new stuff. I'll still go over the old stuff, but now that I found this, I can't help myself. Okay, so first there's this up here. Okay, this just refreshes the web page, I think. Alright, let me click this. Oh boy. It's EMP3. Okay, that's unnerving. So this is all connected to chapter 4, it seems. This is also E. Lots of E. Okay, 4, 5. Oh, we made it to M. It sounds like the first one was the beginning of the audio and this is the end of it. EM. So 6, that's Gaster's favorite number. Oh yeah, and all of these are 6 seconds long. Very cool, Gaster. 7. Still M. 8. We're back to E. 9. Back to M. 10. Back to E. E. 5. E. 6. M. Then this one looks slightly different. Nope, it's just E again. So apparently it says chapter 4 message, so I guess this is a message of some kind. I mean, there's lots of M's and E's, so it might just literally be me. but it could also be some kind of code. I don't really know. So yeah, that's interesting. But then the other thing that I saw is if you go to chapter 5, you've got numbers here 1 to 5. And you can click on 2 through 5, so... Memories. Don't recognize that. DMA. Okay, and this just takes us back here. Ooh! 4 seconds of a new song? Unbelievable. H. So this is guitar, which is interesting because guitar, as far as we know, is associated with Death's Holiday. Interesting. So yeah, we're getting a lot of letters. And knowing Deltarune, the first thing my mind goes to is maybe an anagram of some sort? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. You know what this actually reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Amori. Do, 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 do. That's interesting. I mean, Toby Fox does know Omocat, so... Anyways, I went ahead and noted down all the letters we've gotten. E, M, D, then we got M-A together specifically, and then H. Yeah, I don't really know, but interesting. So, back to the good old sweepstakes. Ah, yes, Holiday Girl 1225's Game Secrets, Glitches, and Theories blog. Classic. And this truly wonderful music. I'm so glad to be back. Today, the official Dragon Blazers website was updated with a bunch of weird links. Oh, I see that period. That's new. Oh, we found Chapter 1, not applicable. Weird. So Chapter 1 is not applicable. Is there a Chapter 0? Okay. Phew. So Chapter 1 is not applicable. Chapter 2 is applicable. Wait. Hold on. Chapter 3 doesn't have a weird root. I think this means Chapter 3 doesn't have a weird root. What? Are these instructions? But then what does it mean for Chapter 4 to be empty? If these are like instructions for the weird root. What? Oh yeah, right. There's this. And you get the message that has E and M. What does that mean, though? That's... Ooh. And you get 5, which is... Or maybe... Because it specifically shows 2 here. 2 is applicable. 1 and 3 weren't applicable, so they aren't here. So is it saying Weird Root is Chapter 2, Chapter 4, and Chapter 5? And like when you click 2, it's even a song specifically from the Weird Root. This is interesting. Yeah, that's all the same. Interesting. So in case you're not following, why I'm thinking this is like specifically Weird Root. So this is of course Noel's account. And from here we get the link to Chapter 1 and says not applicable. And you can't start the Weird Root in Chapter 1 because Noelle can't join the party in Chapter 1 yet. She can only join the party when you get to Chapter 2. And when you go to Chapter 2, it says applicable. That's crazy. Okay. Really, though, I can't be sure of anything. I don't want to completely assume, but I'm guessing this means there's no Weird Root in Chapter 3. I'll still be on the lookout for it, obviously, but I'm not going to worry when I don't find anything. That is crazy. Okay. And I'm pretty sure 6 and 7 don't have anything. Let me just double check that. Yep, that's nothing. Oh. Stop. There we go. That's nothing. What if I just put chapter? Okay. Alright, well, back to the regular blog now. So, today the official Dragon Blazers website was updated with a bunch of weird links. Yep. I searched around the official website for clues and found about 40 pages so far. It doesn't seem to be an ARG, as there's no puzzles and it doesn't lead to anything. Anyone else think the devs might have been eating a little too much fruitcake this year? Mood Curious, listening to Blood Crushers, the band, Raise Up Your Bat, and bats are associated with December holiday. Okay. Cat Petters lore, here we go. I feel like I need to, like, double check every page now for hidden text. If you have no pets, it's known that there's a rare chance for an egg to appear, giving you a random pet. This is the only way to get some of the secret cats in the game, which are still super rare on top of that. So it's a lot of waiting for eggs, hatching them, and throwing away tons of cats trying to get the perfect character. This caused other problems, but I'll explain that another time. But one day, when I was trying to get the ultimate cat, something weird happened. A white egg showed up on my screen, but there was a message with it. Special. I was really excited. I've never gotten a special egg before. In fact, I'd never even heard of it at all. I sat there for an hour waiting to see what it would turn out to be. Maybe I would be the first one to discover a brand new cat. But what was weird is, the egg never hatched. I started to worry it was some kind of glitch, so I decided to try and get rid of it before it hurt my computer, and that's where things got really strange. No matter what I did, I couldn't move or throw away the egg. I tried clicking it over and over, and in the end, all that happened is it made some sort of weird sound. This freaked me out so much, I deleted the game and reinstalled it, but the egg was still there, obviously. Now that I'm older, I think what happened is, I had so many mods installed that the egg didn't know what to hatch into, but at the time I thought my computer was haunted or something, or the egg was going to kill me. Noelle is... From a young age, Noelle has been awfully afraid of inanimate objects killing her, which, in her case, might not actually be that far off. Is that a hint that she's connected to the dark world more than the average person or something? Huh. After a few hours of freaking out, I eventually faced my fears and loaded up the game again. The egg was there, but it didn't seem to be doing anything, so I started raising it like it was a normal pet, brushing it and playing with it and stuff. By the end of the day, I actually started thinking it was a cool pet, and maybe I could try to figure out how to upload it online as a mod. I wasn't able to do that though. The next day when I opened the game, the egg was gone, with a message that said, "Left home due to happiness." Usually the message is, "Pet left home due to sadness," and only happens because you neglected your pet. It's not supposed to happen because you were nice. One last thing. The egg actually had a name, but I don't remember what it was. It's been driving me crazy ever since. If anyone else has ever seen an egg in their game like this, please sign my guest book. Please. First one gets 100 cheesy points from me. Classic Noelle Gaster shenanigans. Crazy kid. The left home due to happiness is interesting. I kind of wonder what that represents exactly. Well, in Noelle's case, I don't know, would I describe Noelle's parents as maybe overbearing, taking care of her too much? Kind of? I don't know. Noelle's mother seems to be controlling, so maybe it could be, representing that in some way? Alright, Secret Cats link. Oh, this is new. Oh, I didn't even realize this would be new. Okay. Rain! It's raining somewhere else? Oh? New Sans connection just dropped. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I'm excited, I'm excited. Everyone's heard of snow days, but did anyone else ever have rain days? I swear, one day it was pouring so hard it sounded like someone was jumping on the roof of the house. So my mom called school and made them cancel just so I wouldn't have to walk over. Come on mom, a little wire never hurt anyone, except maybe for deep sea cave divers. Sorry. Rare, edgy Noelle joke. At least because of that, my friend could come over, who I assume is Chris, without an umbrella. Yep, that sounds like Chris. Why? She... Oh no, it's not Chris. She pronoun spotted. A do we know a female friend of Noelle? Like, the only person I can think of is Caddy? Are Caddy and Noelle friends? Or there's another character we haven't met yet. She was totally soaked. We had to put 3 of my mom's hair dryers on full blast for like 3 minutes. I feel like that would make sense for it to be Caddy, because Caddy has fur. So if she was soaked, then yeah, it would take a lot to dry. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, a lot of monsters could fit that bill, though. At least we got to use the dryer to make melty cheese crackers. Alright, that's strange. Anyways, on days where it rains, nothing was better than playing cat petters. Specifically, the mini games you can play with your cats. They were all ridiculous, and every one of them had these super silly-rific names, like Jongler or something. What does that mean? I remember being really into one of the games when I was little. I can't remember the name because it was complete nonsense, sorry. But it was the one that was like an endless cave, if that makes sense. I even made a guide to the rarities of the different cats you could get to raise your score. I still have the text file, although it's just named b.text. B. Did we get a B? Hold on. Chapter 5. This is D. Wait, I just realized I have the freaking notepad. Okay, new letter. B. Huh. B text. Really helpful me. Chances: 80% normal, 15% blue aura, 4% rock and roll, 0% Angolween, 0.0000%, that's literally the same as 0%, super holy Angolween. But Angle has a 1 in it. Alright. I sort of feel like there were more, though. Like, one time I remember getting a cat and it actually lowered how many points I had. And then, of course, I died immediately, so I couldn't get a picture or anything. And, of course, no one has ever seemed to see this. Classic Noelle, like, cursed game knowledge. Anyways, actually, I get the feeling someone else I know has seen it. But I just know even that if I asked them, I probably wouldn't get a straight answer. Ugh, there's Chris. So Chris is a gamer as well. Super fun fact. On a related note, there's some games, these same games even make a cameo in Cat Petters the RPG, which, like everything good, is kind of a rip-off of Dragon Blazers, if I'm being honest. Okie dokie, let my bias show for a second there. You guys should really play it, though. As usual, if anyone thinks they can find any proof, try it yourself and let me know. P.S. About my friend. She came over because I said I was going to play Cat Petters, but she thought that meant that I was going to pet her. Alright, Caddy confirmed. What kind of game would that even be? I'm not gonna comment on that one. So, I just made a cat named after her in the game and made it play metal music on the music box. based. I'll try not to corrupt that one. I still had to pet her a little or she wouldn't go home. Rare cats. Holy crap. Deltarune 2.5 just dropped. This is the game of all time. The game to end all games. So this is what the kids in Deltarune are into these days. Oh. Oh. Aren't you forgetting something? Deltarune, what are you doing? Aren't you forgetting something? Where would forest lost grow the? What? Oh no. The grow lost wood forest where? Alright, incredible. Alright, this is going to take a while. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, this is difficult to keep. There is so many of these freaking windows. Oh no. Okay, it actually takes you back where you left off, so now this isn't so bad. It is just average Deltarune experience, clicking 1,000 windows that all lead to nothing. This says a lot about society, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, we found him. Lost where the forest would grow. Roots. No, I gotta check. Okay, so it's a tree. I don't recognize this tree. And it looks like you can, like, the texture on it is the depths, I think? Let's click it. New music, let's go. I always get so hyped for new music. Never mind. It's a tree that plays a single chord. Oh. I'm gonna go back because of course I have to check the rest of the windows just to be sure there's not something more hidden here. When I get to Deltarune Chapter 4, seeing these windows is going to give me Vietnam flashbacks. I feel like I'm gonna get to the last window and Sans is just going to rickroll me or something stupid. Okay, that's everything. Yep, that is everything. But what if something... There were 2 different kinds of angels, weren't there? So I have to keep clicking until I get the other one, maybe. Or I'm just going to be wasting my time. What else am I here for? Well, who cares about the secret links? It's all about the thrill of the game. Getting the points, that's all that really matters. Okay, I'm noticing that it's very lenient with how close your mouse actually has to be to the cats, which helps a lot with clicking them faster. So that's nice, at least. Did I try highlighting everything on this page? Okay, I can't. There's another angel. Another window. Yeah, it just leads back here. It's saying, in the context of Deltarune, it's saying, aren't you forgetting something is actually crazy, though. That goes kind of hard. This is really putting me in the mindset of Noel Holiday. I've never been so invested in getting the most secret cat, but here we are. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. That should not have scared me as much as it did. Why is Deltarune FNAF jump scaring me? Okay. I was genuinely so invested in clicking the cats. I was not ready. Oh, that was good. That was good. Alright. What if I try to go back to... What? Oh my god, that's so cool. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end the current recording here just to make sure I don't lose that because that was amazing. Alright, I'm back. I needed to take a bit of a breather after that, but I can confirm that the clock has changed. Which is interesting. But anyways, let me get back where I left off. So now let's go back here and let's go to the comments. With Smart Genius. Another epic post, Holiday Girl. Can I be mod? This blog definitely needs more posts and possibly better ones. Whoever is prank calling my phone needs to stop. Maybe you shouldn't put your phone number in your username? An excellent idea, my fellow mod, and I made an account just for being full admin to be more secure. It would be better than mod anyway. Please give me privileges. By the way, prankers, once I become admin, you will be hit not with the ban hammer, but the ban bird. A halberd for banning people. Savor your last moments now. How are they still calling me? Sorry, my computer is bugged. Looks like the admin panel isn't working, lol. I can't give you privileges. Sorry, you won't be able to be mod or admin. It's nice having you comment, though. As for the phone calls, your old posts are up there with the phone numbers still. Are you saying I should delete my posts? I may worship you as a mod, but that's too far even for me. As for your computer, worry not, I can fix it. I have my way with computers. Calculators want to kiss me. Laptops love me. With a flick of my wing, your computer will sing. Slightly papyrus coded. Sorry for the lack of posting. I accidentally deleted Minecraft and it took all day to figure out how to get it to work again. Fortunately, the prank caller helped me get it back and now we are playing together. If anyone else wants to play, I'm putting the details of our server below. I find it hilarious that the implication is Chris was prank calling Birdly, and then Birdly was having trouble installing Minecraft, and Chris helped him, and then they started gaming together. Aw, that's cute. I think I need to lock this thread as it contains personal information. Thanks everyone for your interest. Thread has been locked. Normal users can no longer post. Implying that Sports is not a normal user. Does Dragon Blazers have Sports? I never played it. OMG, Sports! Hi, hello, you should play it. Can there be a soccer ball in the game? No? Thanks. I learned a lot. I do not think I will use this website anymore. Deep. Okay, and I guess that's about all here. Let me head back. And I guess we can start going through the prizes now. Fangamer gift cards. Up to not 9. 9 people, oh, whoops. 9 people get to win various cash values in the form of free gift cards. That's money. For free? What? Do these idiots think this is charity? This opportunity is too good to be true. Therefore, after you get it, please confirm the number on the back with our team. I will personally try out the card for you to confirm it's safe. And Spamton's such a nice guy. These chewed up bubblegum wrappers thought they could make merchandise without me? Well, who's a custom embroidery now, you scrap heap? And back in the green room, where we have this still. So at first I thought this might be tied to specifically the silence ending, but it's here too, so this is just new thing. Interesting. Have you ever wanted to make me into your living puppet and enslave me with visions of glory? Screw you, man! Screw you, man! Screw you, man! But I can't blame you. I sure am one handsome guy, so I'll let you have my pair of dirty socks as an eternal sacrifice, just as old and crusty as the day I die. Looking for a way to max out your TP? Crap yourself. In style with the new Spampton toilet paper, each piece contains a motivational quote about how I will kill you. Ominous. Ever think about settling down and having a little worm of your own? Don't worry, we have painfully modified a loving creature that's sure to eating you out of house and home. It will infest your house, your crops, and your heart. Succumb to the worm. Succumb to the worm. You won't become a big shot without taking a few fights. I have been beat on, stepped on, bleeped up, bleeped down, shaken up, stirred around, cracked like an egg, had sand kicked into my eyes, had my nose metaphorically ripped off, kissed on the mouth, tucked into bed, drank my orange juice, fell down the stairs, and you know what? I still got up in the morning at 2 a.m. to go directly back to bed. Sound like bleep? Well, skip the line of people waiting to beat you into an ever-loving and become a dog the champ something directly with this commemorative belt. A belt is basically a ring for your ass. That's right, wear this safety belt to school or work and you won't even have to wait in line for people to beat the tar out of you. Meanwhile, I can sneak out the back and... What's more fun for the kids than a contest for 18 years or older to enter? What's that? I hear you getting mad? Yes, I hear the haters and the screamers outside my window every day. I hear them right now shooting me with guns and the whole milk and slapping me moist against the freshly tiled bathroom floor. Cool down with a, what if one day you ended up killed me? What if I died just like I finally became a real boy and turned into graveyard dust for the fans? Well, let this be an email in a bottle for you. Wake up and then smell my dead carcass. Sand in a jar, hardly worth even one measly neochromer, and you can have it for free. Wow. Not gonna lie, Spampton makes me feel kind of lightheaded. Ahem. The nation's most popular car, Cungadero, now with its one-of-a-kind final warning sign after the rest were. Remember, if you show this warning sign in your back window and they don't let you cross, you have the legal right to run them down. Like many buzzing and burning creators, we are expanding into selling expired food over the internet. Unfortunately, the big man's always flocking around the cute little guys, like us, who just want to make a quick buck by selling poison. So to get around the Office of Rules and Regulations, we had to make it 100% inedible slime. Please read the fine print. If you aren't a little guy, you might need to press down to crouch. Choking hazard, ages 3 and up. Choking hazard, ages 3 and below. Choking hazard, ages exactly 3. Ho ho ho, you just got lancered. This is what I needed. Ah. You know, it just occurred to me, do you think this sprite will ever actually appear in games somehow? Like, are we going to ever, like, are we going to enter, like, a more pixelized area at some point or something? It's an interesting thought. Tired of facial recognition, but want everyone to know who you are? Nothing works better than our faithful recreation of everybody's favorite frosted cereal box, complete with fine and skin-crawling details created by a hardworking team of disgusting freaks. Yay, no spec. Ah, that's the good stuff. Oh no, I have to go back to Cat Petters. As you may know, Cat Petters 2 is one of this admin's favorite games. To those that don't know, it's a game where you take care of a cat and raise it, and sometimes get jump scared. Sounds simple, right? Actually, the game has a really deep animation breeding system, so players have been able to hex edit the game data to create brand new pets. If you download the right mods, you can raise birds, hamsters, cars, cartoon characters, and even more. Mew Mew Queen's Simpton Family Pack is a great example of how far things can go. However, you have to be careful, because not all mods are very compatible. When pets fall in love, an egg appears and it hatches... Okay, I have to turn off the music. Ooh, jeez. When pets fall in love, an egg appears and it hatches into a new pet that combines the animation visual data of the two parents. Meaning, if you try to breed a hamster in a car, you'll either get a complete freak of nature, or worse, you'll get this message: incompatible pet. Then the game will freeze and the music will glitch out. I was so scared of seeing this message as a kid, I would punish my pets so that they would never fall in love. If an egg did appear, I would throw it in the trash right away. Until one day... Mood nostalgic. Listening to Cat Petters 2 OST corrupted. No cats. Okay, and now we're back here. All roads leads back to the friend jump scare. Like any big shot, of course I have my own line of scented perfumes the ladies and gentlemen will be gagging for. This olfactory experience is sure to turn heads and tails when you get thrown out the window for lighting it in the in-flight restroom. What could it possibly smell like? Glad you asked. That, my friend, is an industry secret that I will hopefully never know. Potassium. Let's be honest, folks. Let me try that again. Let's be honest, folks. Fluff sells, and who has more fluffy, scringly appeal than everyone's favorite, highly marketable that guy? Dress him up in this one-of-a-kind nurse costume, $19.99, and he will make your boo-boos go bye-bye. Buy now, and in our special deal, he will also make you ba-bas go bobo. Incredible. Then we got the Shadow Men. Soon this will be so much fun. Anyways. It's the Your Best Bleep Heart Locket. Ever wish you could carry and cuddle a little Spamton all day, so you won't be alone in the garbage for snack time? someone hitting on you and your boyfriend, and wish you could show them a picture of your hotter boyfriend so no one will ever find you attractive again? This heart-shaped object is the thing for you. A truly unique concept, a commemorative locket between the two most important characters, me and my person who gives me money. Here's the fun one. Chris Dreamer. This is a private post. Only friends can see this. I wonder if there's deeper meaning to that. Only friends can see this. Friends. It's funny. There was a time when they were coming over almost every day. We'd play and we'd play, then after a while, they would suddenly get very still like they were remembering something. They'd go into the dining room to get a snack, then after a few moments, I'd hear the piano. The first few times I went in to watch them play, but when they realized I was looking, they'd always shut the piano and come back. So over time, I just started staying on the couch in the living room. I'd lie there listening to them play, sometimes for hours, sometimes even until I fell asleep. Even then, what were they thinking about me? Maybe they weren't thinking about me at all. They didn't have a piano at their house, so they probably just came over to use mine. Even then, with my eyes open, there are times when I wasn't even sure if we were friends, but when I closed my eyes, it felt like a concert just for me. Chris is a strange little goober, aren't they? Dana actually closed. Is there a Mr. or Mrs. in your life? Have you ever seen one before? Then your worries are over. Spamton is here to save your marriage. This commemorative cutting board will help introduce your partner to a new and spicy stage in your relationship. Whether you are already married, looking to immediately divorce, or need to use this to propose. Not ready for the next stage yet? Just use it as a threat to say Spamton's gonna be Mr. Player 3 if they don't cook more. As an added bonus, we will provide a red correctional marker, so if your relationship goes south on the border, just cross out the Mr. or Mrs. as needed. Stepping out of the watering hole, but only a single toe got so delicious and moist. Spamton Industries is here with a unique... There's the blank again. Hold on, let me compare. Let me remember where the blank even is. Right, it's the green room. Where is the green room? Here. Yeah, that looks similar because it's a blank and then a comma. Interesting. Spamton Industries is here with a unique blank. Pippus Bath Rug. Made of 101% naturally organic Pippus fibers that only one's so hungry, and get it now before it's too late. Hurry, there's still only one. No, they're multiplying. They're multiplying. Alright. I barely ever receive fan mail, no pressure guys, But just in case I ever get an email from anyone out there, I have this habit of always reading my spam mail, just in case it's someone real. Time for a wholesome Noel Spamton lore. Mostly it's just weird stuff like, Hochi Mamas can get big too. Promise I wasn't looking at any weird sites, guys, MK. But one day, one of the spams I got was nothing but random letters and numbers. I figured it was probably a failed attempt at sending me a virus, but I thought, what if I tried putting it into Cat Petters 2 as a mod? So I did, and weirdly enough, it actually managed to load. For people that don't know the game, it has a special visual style. All the pets are made of circles that get animated around. One circle will be the head, another the eyes, another the pupil, another the body, etc. But I guess the game didn't like the data very much because this pet was only one blue circle. Yeah, just one blue circle floating in the air. The animations didn't work and it never moved, except for occasionally glitching out. All of the stats were really bad and all of my pets really hated it except for certain ones. LOL. I couldn't explain why anyone liked it, but it was really funny to see who did. What's weird is that the circles seem to be able to multiply. Normally you need 2 pets to fall in love to make a new pet, but after a while, even if the circle was by itself, a congratulations message would come up, and there would be 2 circles. I thought this was funny, but the circles started piling up. I tried to throw them in the trash, but they were multiplying too fast. My screen was nothing but congratulations messages when the game crashed. Needless to say, I had to wipe all my pets. Lesson learned about using files from weird emails. Until next time. Dun dun duh. And back here. And as we learned in the Spamton Q&A, this was actually the world's first charity. Look your stylish best after a refreshing salad dip in the burning acid. Also works well for coming out of the 5-star private bathroom after getting swirled in the commode or being pushed into the private pool by ungrateful swine. We are proud to announce Spamton Fungible Token. It takes the form of a special physical and edible paper that only one person can own. That's right, and there's more! Possessing the holy object gives you sole ownership of it, meaning if you use its likeness in your own creative project, we will know exactly who you are when we need to sue the pants off your sorry ass. New and unique bleeding edge technology will allow it to be Crocs compatible with all of your favorite games, such as putting it on the wall, darts, folding, and best of all, forgetting you own it. So, how about that Pippus? How about that sport of the Pippus? I know some of you kids out there like hours of free sports entertainment, so have I got a deal that's sweet Sunday cream to any self-respecting ball nut. In this special deal, I will declare you the winner of Pippus Championship, and you don't even have to bleep a single theme. Go ahead, kid, show off your big shot with this one-of-a-kind commemorative ring. Don't like it? Don't like it? Get hitched to a baseball, you snake. Oh, here we go. Nothing says you are a big shot like a premium luxuria watch, antique from a rich and powerful itch. Rest assured, our merchandise is 100% authentic, faithful recreation of stolen goods. Need proof? There lies the name of the angel with the tattered wings. So if we take a moment to look at this, there it is, Noel Holiday. So this is Noel's watch, and Spamton refers to her as the angel with tattered wings, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright, this is probably honestly my favorite part of the Spamton sweepstakes. This is a private post, only friends can see this. So, that new girl I keep talking about, she really, really, really hates Chris. And you know what's weird? Literally, only Chris seems oblivious to this. Or, no, are they oblivious? They're literally getting bullied. Do they just not care? Then again, who knows what Chris is thinking? I just don't get why they don't tell their mom. Or better, switch seats with me, like I keep saying. Noelle is cooked. I guess they just don't want to be at the front of the class, but she doesn't ever bully me, even when there'd be a huge opportunity to. Has Noelle just been putting herself in positions to try to get bullied? So, come on, switch seats, everyone would be safer that way. Like, you're not going to believe what happened today, lol. After the bell rang as usual, everyone rushed to see who could get out of class first. I stayed behind a bit to help Alphys put away some books and look for some mysteriously missing supplies. Meanwhile, Chris was still asleep face down on a totally blank notebook page, and for some reason Susie hadn't left either. She was just sitting there, staring at Chris's head, sniffing it? Wonder if she'd like scented candles. Eventually, I started to leave too. I even almost said bye this time, but I was a bit worried about Chris, so I stayed outside the classroom to, watch. I had to stay totally out of sight, holiday family ninja style, since Susie didn't seem like she was going to do anything until she made sure I was gone. After a while, Susie got up, knocking her chair over. She jumped into Miss Alfie's seat and put her shoes up on the desk, getting dirt everywhere. I just know I'm going to have to clean that. Noelle, why are you happy about this? She grabbed the apple Burley had given Alfie's a few days ago. You know, one of the ones she has literally never eaten. Held it up and started talking. Hey, idiot. Chris didn't look up. Hey, idiot. Chris still didn't look up. Chris. Chris looked up. Susie rolled her eyes and showed all her horrible and very cool teeth. Nice shampoo. Apple flavor, alright. Better be careful about wearing that around me. The apples again. The Chris-Apple connection never ceases. Then she bit the whole apple in half, including the core. She even ate the seeds, which, contain arsenic, if you didn't know. Don't eat those, Susie. Anyways, Chris didn't react, so she continued. Keep smelling like apples, you might end up like this. Chris didn't react. Bitten. She pointed to the apple. In half. There was like the most awkward silence and then snickering. But it wasn't Susie. No, it was Chris, just barely stifling some laugh. Did they think that was some kind of weird joke? Whatever it was, Susie must have thought she was getting made fun of because she immediately launched the apple right at Chris. But Chris, with their gamer reaction speed, it's still cringe, Noelle, it's... Oh no. Held up their notebook like a shield and blocked it diagonally, bouncing it into the air, and actually caught the apple, then took a bite out of it. Gosh though, did that make Susie mad. You little... She ran over and grabbed Susie by the hair. She ran over and grabbed Chris by the hair, staring into their face, really close. I froze. I knew that if I didn't do anything, Chris would get hurt or worse, but something inside me just froze, like I was stuck in some kind of snow grave. I just stood there holding my breath, and Susie kept talking. One day your mom's gonna get sick of you, you little freak, and as soon as that happens... Susie laughed. I felt genuinely sick. Someone might make you disappear, and she'll finally realize how happy she was without you. But after all that, Chris didn't say anything at all. Susie exploded. Say something, you idiot! It felt like her voice echoed around the room forever. Then, when it finally went quiet, Chris's mouth looked like it moved. To be honest, moved so slightly, I couldn't even tell if they said something or what, but whatever it was, Susie's attitude suddenly completely changed. She let go of Chris, backing off quickly, then left the room in such a hurry she easily would have won today's leaving first race. I really wish I could have seen her reaction, but I was so scared she would see me that I literally just jumped into my locker. In the end, all I could see through the little slats were her shape from behind, going towards the entrance of the school with her head held low. Finally, I heard the entrance door close. I sighed, and suddenly all that frozen feeling that had built up in my chest flew out of my body all at once. Holy cheese and crackers, I said to myself. I almost started laughing from relief. Oh, you do that too. Of course you do. Freak. Anyways, then suddenly my locker's door flung open. Chris was standing there. I started to stutter hello, and they just slowly shut the door on me and left. Well, that just happened, lol. I ordered apple shampoo. Maybe if I wear it too, she won't bother Chris as much? Sure. So we got a lot of interesting characterization. This scene legitimately feels so detailed and important to me. I almost wonder, especially because Chris says something to Susie here, and we don't get to learn what Chris actually said. And it makes me wonder if at some point Deltarune will actually get some kind of flashback to this scene or something like that. It's just really interesting. Chris! Look, I turned myself into a cube. I turned myself into a 3D motivational glass cube, and now I'm frozen in there with some stupid famous genius I've never even heard of. I can't believe I'm trapped together in one room and the door won't open until they... Hurry now, blink and you'll miss. Wakey, wakey. Another faithful recreation, this time of everyone's favorite all-ages beverage choice. Just looking at it, your eyes can almost taste the smooth flavor of dye. Still fragrant, with smoking hot ass from her Royalties Persona collection, it will only gaining value when it becomes a special collector's item after I replace her now. Haha, replace her now, haha, because Spamton wants to become the ruler of the city and possibly the world. As a special bonus, if you break glass in case of emergency, you can have unrestricted access to the hottest second-hand kiss from any dead pharaoh for 50 miles around. Now that's value. What better way to profess your love to Spamton than a limited edition musical snow globe with everybody's favorite famous skeleton? And yes, the song is, of course, just that top 100 hit by the classics you've come to expect. That's why we can't legally show the image. Right now, that's why they're coming to kill me right now. They're coming to... How did this get here? Real world gigs? What are you guys doing? We're going to go double bankrupt if you guys keep eating too much fruitcake, XP. Interesting that he referenced Noel here. Stop, don't win this. You'll take it all. You'll take everything I have. Show your devotion, your dedication to the one you love most with this commemorative ring. If you promise me your heart-shaped object, I can promise you an honest man who will always be there to scream, "It hurts! It hurts!" What's yours is mine, and what's yours is mine. Don't like it? Don't like it? Then don't worry. Like all of my commemorative rings, just slap it on any Hochi Mama, and they will be yours. You just need to change your name to Spamton. It's engraved. Up here it is. Damn you, Tenna. Delete this. That damn boob tube. You're the one that should be having a refreshing night's sleep in the recycling bin. Everything is his. Everything is his fault. Pay. Everyone is going to. Everyone is going to pay 5 easy payments of $9.99 until they're all in the disposal area begging for my beep. Everyone Everyone jeez, I can read. Everyone except Mike. Anyways, yes, I love this page. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. Then I think the bottom one just leads to the green room. Yeah. But this... we go up and up and up. Until we find a door. Did anyone else wander around this screen as a kid? The cross-shaped maze in the ice area from Dragon Blazers. Once you go in it, no matter where you go, you'll always be brought back to the same room. Normally one of the characters is supposed to guide you through the maze, but it became one of the most famous, or should I say infamous, parts of the game, because if you go there without that character, you'll get basically stuck forever. The developers actually say something about this in the manual. It warns you this glitch is actually one of the bad guy's magic spells. Yeah. Sorry guys, I think you were just eating a little too much fruitcake when making this part of the game. As a kid, I had no idea that this was a glitch. I literally spent hours on the screen wandering around thinking there was an exit. The thing is, there actually is one. Somehow Kid Me was so stubborn, or I suppose you could say determined. I think I went every possible direction somehow. Then the last direction you go is up. If you do that, you'll find a door that doesn't appear anywhere else in the game. This shocked me so much as a kid, I screamed and pulled my controller so hard and unplugged the console. I actually started crying, but I knew my mom would turn off the game if she heard me, so I held my breath and started hiccuping and gasping. I literally thought I was going to choke on my tears. It only made me cry more that I had to plug the game back in by myself. I was so scared that I would get electrocuted and die from the wires. Again, scared of inanimate objects. I was actually always afraid of electrical sockets too, because I thought they were looking at me. Come on, I wasn't a weird kid, I promise. I got over it after that. So I started the game again, and with my hand shaking, I went back into the maze. But what's super weird was that somehow I was able to get right back to the door. I was so happy I almost started screaming again, but remembered to hold my breath halfway. Now I was able to see... now I was going to be able to see what was in the secret door. Or so I thought. It was locked. And I've never been able to find any key in the game that opens it. Since then, I can actually get to the door pretty consistently if I concentrate. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, and it feels different every time, so I can't give any advice. I know this sounds really fake, but if anyone ever figures out a way to open the door, please sign my guest book. I'll even put you in my Hall of Fame, you know, so there can be someone in it besides me. Mood nostalgic, listening to Dragon Blazers Glacier. Wonder if that will be a song in Deltarune at some point or something like that. Maybe that's where stuff like the Lancer sprite from earlier could come in. But that's just a theory. Uh-oh. Like any self-respecting big shot, I have an army of crazed fans who love me not just because of my massive fame, but also because of my massive ass. Have a long and refreshing sleep, knowing that wanted criminals could be right next to you and your family? Let your unhealthy attachment to your favorite salesman fester. The more you use it, the more you realize night sweats and rashes may occur. Call a doctor immediately. And then finally, we are left with Spamton's fate. Spamton, aren't you just sick of him? Why does he get all the attention? Why should he be so special? He wasn't any better than any of us. What do you think? Let's buy Spamton's silence permanently. Let's get him out of this place once and for all. Don't you think it's about time someone else got the spotlight? Or should he stay free? Let him live his lucky life. Encourage him. Be happy for him. After all, are we really any better? Spamton's fate is in our hands. Oh? Oh, okay, that's all it is. Never mind. Well, I think that's pretty much everything. Everything I could find, at least, but I'll be checking out the community to see what else people were able to find. But yeah, I suppose that's that. Thought maybe if I could like click it fast enough it'd lead to another secret, but oh well. Well, that was fun.